What's up, everyone? Welcome back to HateWatchers. Today we're going over episode 10 of Andor called One Way Out. Let's get right to it. Spoilers ahead. We open up in jail where this old guy's corpse is getting wheeled out past everyone to boost morale. Everyone can't believe it and they have their hands on their heads in shock. Kino just finished taking some photos for his Tinder profile. Andor, aka Keith, is badgering him to break out of jail tomorrow. The drugs in this jail just aren't doing the trick for him anymore. He's finally able to convince Kino that they need to bust out, man. Kino yells to everyone that no one is getting out alive and to get ready to bust out of here. We cut to Miss Stick in her butt where we learn that Anto Krieger has taken the ISB's bait. Her assistant, nicknamed Pornstash, starts brown-nosing and making suggestions that the Major agrees with. Andor's alarm goes off too soon, but he can't hit the snooze button as Kino's a changed man who's determined to get out or die trying. Moving to Ferrix, everyone is spying on everyone. On Coruscant, Mon Mothma and Tay are entertaining Davos Skolden as we hear their important conversation about home decor. Skolden talks about how great arranged marriages are. He makes Mon Mothma admit she's looking for dirty money because that's just what politicians do. Davo wants no fee for his services, only to come back here with his son to arrange a marriage with Mon Mothma's daughter. Davo says he knows she's thinking about him naked.
I'm not thinking about it.
That's the first untrue thing you've said.
Over in Luthen's shop, the camera moves around too fast and in stupid directions and it's not in focus, and we don't get a good look at much of the items in the shop, except Queen Amidala's headdress we've already seen. Clea tells Luthen that someone's left a sign to set up a meeting. Andor asks Kino which episode was his favorite to act in.
One Way Out.
Keith is in the bathroom trying to strip some aluminum salvage to trade for drugs. A new guy is getting prepped to head down to the factory floor. Keith gets mad that he can't get this metal off and takes it out on this pipe. The prison guard makes sure everyone's hair looks nice.
Looks good.
Keith, in his blind anger, busts the pipe open and water comes flooding out. Everyone grabs their weapons right before the new guy comes down. Andor makes it back in time, and it's totally not suspicious that he's dripping wet. Ginger picks a really bad time to argue with Greaser Guy, and the guards get tense. Andor jams a tool into the lift, disabling it with the guard and the new guy on board, and all hell breaks loose. Keith's best friend, his drug dealer, makes a move toward the guard, but his upper body strength isn't what he thought it was. The new guy gets tased, but the guard falls and the new guy gets his sweet revenge. 1 second before getting shot dead. The prisoners start chucking anything they can get their hands on at the guards. The black guy gets shot because Disney is on a mission to kill every black person in this show. The guards try and light the floor up to wipe out the prisoners, but the water Keith accidentally spilled short circuits it. Kino is pumped. Ginger Guy gets shot, and the Greaser Guy is sad for 0.2 seconds until he remembers the red hair and leaves. Andor goes commando out of nowhere and kills the two guards, and a third for good measure. On the next floor down, the water is starting to leak through. Andor is on a murder spree. Kill-tacular. The prisoners are running the jailhouse now, busting out everyone. Central Command says they're gonna fry the whole place, but Kino gets there first and has other ideas. He blows Tubby away and demands that they turn off the activation sequence. Keith can smell his favorite strain of weed and demands that the guard cough it up.
I don't have it. He has the hydrogens.
The guard shuts down the hydro generators and the power is cut. For 2 seconds before it comes back on. Now that they're in control of the PA system, Keith is begging Kino to ask if anyone has some good bud they can share. Kino is quickly turning into Supreme Leader Snoke.
I'm speaking to you from the command center on level 8.
He tells everyone to bust out, yo, but he straight up looks Andor right in the eyes and steals his line from earlier.
And I would rather die trying to take them down than giving them what they want.
But Kino doesn't know how to wrap up his inspirational speech and just keeps going and going as we see an escape montage. They head toward the exit and leave the guards alone at the controls to reverse everything they've done. It's time for some fun in the sun as everyone starts diving in the water. Turns out Kino can't swim. Ah, bummer, dude. Back on Coruscant, the ISB agent Pornstash is in the seedy underbelly of the city. He grabs an AirPod in the elevator and Luthen starts talking to him. Luthen lets him know he's been watching him. We find out why Luthen's been watching him, as things take an inappropriate turn.
Watching me? Do you ever think how it might feel from my side?
I think about you constantly.
Pornstache tells Luthen that Krieger is heading into a trap, but Luthen says it would look suspicious if Krieger didn't attack now, so he's willing to sacrifice Krieger and his 50 men to keep this informant in the ISB. The elevator reaches its destination, and Luthen is looking pretty Sithy. Lonnie, aka Pornstache, just wants out now that he has a family, but Luthen won't let him leave the cause. Lonnie asks Luthen what he's given up, and he says he's sacrificed everything to fight for a future he'll never see. Keith and Melshi have done it as they're out of jail and avoiding Imperial patrols, and the episode comes to an end. Well, we've reached that point in the video where we have to decide if this episode was a great watch or a hate watch. This episode was a great watch, and it was one of the best episodes so far. The best part of this episode was undoubtedly Andy Serkis as Kino, as we watched the character finally come around to the idea of escaping. When we first met him, he was a good little prisoner who had been driven to the point of enforcing the ideals of those who imprisoned him onto his fellow prisoners. But in this episode, he's finally awake and seems to be more motivated to escape than anyone. So, he's a bit of an extremist regardless of which side he's on, but we'll take it as it makes for good storytelling here. And we didn't see him jump into the water at the end, so the story, or at least Disney, isn't done with this character yet. The other high point, in our opinion, was seeing Luthen's true feelings on the rebellion and his role in it. There's definitely something more to this character than we're being told at this point, and we're getting closer to learning what that is. Maybe he's Palpatine's cousin or something, who knows? But it definitely feels like they're setting it up to let us know in the season finale. This episode did a good job keeping the tone tense throughout, and the breakout needed to happen this episode. It probably could have happened last episode, but at a minimum it needed to happen this week. This show couldn't afford to have another episode set in this jail, for storytelling reasons and just visually as well. Especially when we know the characters get out at some point. So while this arc easily could have been shortened, at least we finally got the payoff and the plot can keep moving and keep people interested. Thank you to everyone who made it to this point in the video. Let us know in the comments below. Do you think Kino went for it and jumped when they escaped? Do you think Luthen has some important backstory that will be revealed, or do you think we know everything about him already? Please remember to like the video as it helps us reach more fans out there, and click the red subscribe button for weekly episode reviews of Andor. Thank you again, and we'll catch you on the next one.